In July this year, in a small West Sussex village, people woke up one morning to an unfamiliar sight. Their new neighbours, a group of Buddhist monks, on their arms round. Their order has existed in the East for 2,500 years, and they've come to England now in response to a growing interest here in Buddhism. They aim to live the simple and disciplined life which the Buddha laid down for the earliest forest monks. There are many Buddhist groups in Britain, but this is the first attempt at such a traditional approach. They have to follow 227 rules which govern every aspect of their life. The rules provide them with a framework for developing spiritual insight and what the Buddhist scriptures call loving kindness towards all creation. The community consists of about 20 monks, novices and lay followers. Their day has begun at 4 a.m. with meditation followed by chanting in Pali. But very little of their day is taken up with ceremonies. They've just moved into a derelict Victorian house with a 100-acre forest nearby. Their first task was to clear up all the debris and make it habitable. Monks are trained to be content with little. They eat only one meal a day. They don't listen to music, watch television or read novels. They have to remain celibate and they are permitted few possessions. Their aim is to be free of everything which might distract them from their main task, putting into practice the Buddha's teaching about the path to enlightenment. The spiritual head of the order is the Venerable Ajahn Chah. He has come from Thailand for a few weeks to lend his support to the new sanctuary.
ในเวลานี้ชาวตะวันตกนี้
Many people in the West today seem to have much dissatisfaction and unhappiness in their hearts, and they feel they don't have a satisfactory means of dealing with it. The teachings of the Buddha offer the practice of meditation, which is a way of solving problems and overcoming confusion. We've been invited over here because many people want to learn how to put the teaching into practice, with the aim of finding a path through their confusion towards peace and calm.
But how is all this going to go down in West Sussex? For hundreds of years, Western Christians have exported their religion. Now, for the first time, the West is on the receiving end. The hardest point for the monks to get across was why they went on their traditional alms round. Were they just scroungers, or was this a vital part of Buddhist practice? To try to explain this and many other points, soon after they arrived, they held a meeting in the village hall. A film was shown on their parent monastery in Thailand, where most of them were trained.
These monks in northeast Thailand are on Bindabat, the daily dawn walk to receive their food offered by the villagers. They're not allowed to possess money, nor grow their own food. This ensures their total dependence on the lay community, so they can't cut themselves off in a spiritual cocoon. For the laity, Bindabat is a way of paying respect to the discipline of the monks, and also a way of making merit, which many believe brings good fortune in this life.
Rumours in the Sussex village have been rife. If they weren't the Moonies, then they were communist spies, or the abbot was the king of Thailand in disguise. There were many questions to be answered. The meeting was chaired. The monks' way of meeting doubts that they were just another weird and possibly dangerous sect was to invite the local people to the sanctuary to take a look for themselves. They explained that their rules forbade them to ask for food, and they didn't expect to be fed by their neighbours, but they were keeping up the tradition of the alms round partly as a way of making contact. Their one meal a day has to be eaten before noon. Part of their food will be grown by their lay helpers, and the rest will be donated by Buddhist supporters from further afield. Today it's been given by the Hampshire Buddhist Society. This temporary dining room was provided by their chairman, who owns a marquee company. You don't have to be a monk to be a devout Buddhist. You can lead an active business life, provided it's not an immoral one.
who come today to offer a meal to the monks, which is known as dana, and this is an act of giving which establishes a sort of a relationship between lay people and the monks. And it's not, as is often thought, a case of just giving something to gain merit, but ideally, or in the perfect way, giving dana is a case of giving a little bit of oneself, and so it's in keeping with all the basic Buddhist teachings of the dropping ones these days.
พวกชาวพุทธทั้งหลายได้มารวมการกระทำบุญในสถานที่นี้
Today all of you Buddhists have had a chance to come.
One of the monks' main roles is to teach. The idea is that the lay people provide food for the body and the monks provide food for the mind. The sanctuary is a kind of spiritual powerhouse where people come to be recharged. Meditation is seen as the path towards harmony. The Buddha taught that the main reason we become unhappy in life is that we fail to recognize that nothing can last forever. So we cling to possessions, our youth, happy feelings, our loved ones, in the vain hope that things will never change. And when they do, we feel thwarted and miserable. The aim of Buddhist practice, meditation combined with moral living, is a very down-to-earth one, to find a way of overcoming unhappiness. The Buddha taught that this can only be achieved when we reach a sense of detachment, a perspective from where we're no longer upset by the ups and downs of life.